Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, we're still just building up stuff and chilling. Standard of living is very slowly increasing, and that's providing me a baseline number of loyalists to work with. I've still got quite a few radicals, but it's not affecting that much. It looks like a lot of them are located in Picardy. There's pretty high unemployment here, so let's do something about that. Let's build up our logging camps, our fishing wharves. That's going to provide a lot of wood. So let's build paper mills and furniture manufactories here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all of that at the top of the queue. And then I'm once again going to put anything that's almost done ahead of that. And slowly but surely, we'll achieve a higher standard of living in the state. Perhaps a little bit more government admin will be useful. So I just discovered rubber mastication. So let's take a look at the world market and see if anyone's purchasing rubber. Looks like ammunition is what's being mostly purchased in... sorted by price? No, we're not. It's mostly ironclads being bought. But it's mostly engines. It's just a weird comparison notes here. But is there any rubber on the world market? It doesn't appear that there is. So, in this case, I am going to not worry about rubber for the time being. And we'll work on that later. Taming Amazonia. Currently in our possession are vast tracts of pristine, undeveloped Amazonian lands. While some laud its wild beauty, others see naught but an untamed frontier overflowing with rubber, longing for the gentle touch of progress and capital. Take this down. We stand upon the edge of what could be the very lungs of the planet itself. The terrible wonders that might be inside are ours to behold, to conquer, to subjugate. As darkest Africa has yielded to... sir, I believe I forgot my pen. Perhaps I could dictate when we return to camp? Imbecile! Bah! Use mine! Now, from the top, and do not interrupt. Fortune smiles upon the brave and spits on the coward. Adds exploiting the Amazon to the Journal of France. So... let's take a quick look through this. We've seen this event before in previous runs. But basically, here's the description. While rubber and its properties have long been known to us, traditionally its uses have been limited, and consequently commercial demands have been low. However, with the Industrial Revolution in full swing and new uses for rubber being found by the week, calls for increased production have soared. Steps must be taken to transform the Amazon from an inhospitable jungle into an intensively developed land capable of meeting the demands of commerce. So once we've got an urban center up to level 2 and 10 rubber plantations in French Guiana, we'll be able to hit this button. 2 years later, I believe, we'll be able to hit this button. If we've got our urban center up to 4 and rubber plantations up to 15. So that's the structure of it. I'm not up to cordial with the Netherlands yet, but let's see if we can buy Guyana. They're only minus 100 on it. What if I give them a guarantee independence? Military assistance is worth 14. I could pay raw cash for it. Any goods you want? Let's start there. Am I crazy? Where's goods transfer? Investment rates and military assistance would both be reasonable. But what about cash? How much do we need? We need about 60. We can't get more than 56 from this. %70 chance they say yes. Let's try it. Excellent. So that gets us a little bit more of Guyana. More importantly, it gives us a little bit more gold mine capacity. I'm going to throw that at the top of the queue. And it gives us more rubber plantation capacity. I'll build up some fishing wharves as well, just to get unemployment down here. I'm throwing that up at the top of the queue. That's going to slow down my development in Picaldi, but that shouldn't be that much of a problem. Why are you so tumultuous? We have a food problem here because of unprofitable wheat farms. I'm going to throw those at the top of the queue, and hopefully that's going to help things out. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I also wanted to put a little bit more government in Renanie du Nord. I'm just going to put 4 levels in here. That's going to finish really fast. I know I'm just throwing things at the top of the queue, all william-nilliam here, but I've got a lot of construction capacity, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm still working on getting these up. I just want to have myself a little bit more of a buffer to make sure I'm good to go. Relations with Great Britain are quite good. I think I would like to get up to 50 before I form my sovereign empire, the Empire of the French. Because that's going to potentially create lots of headaches for lots of people. They would not accept. I would love to have Switzerland as a puppet state. I took Switzerland as a puppet state before. Can confirm. Oh. I'm fine with a bunch of slave states being salty with me. Harvest condition extreme winds affecting Aki 10. Alright, that's probably fine. So, Picaldi, are you still in starvation? Yes, but less. Do I need to subsidize these wheat farms? I think maybe the answer to that is yes. Let's throw 4 more levels in here. Law enforcement's up to 3, that's good. So that should be reducing the penalties here, and indeed it is. So that's reduced the turmoil, which is nice. Let's just build a little bit more farming there to build that up. GDP is not increasing at the rate at which I would like, which is a little bit odd. I wonder if some of the industry I'm building is unprofitable and being downsized. It would be a shame, but it could be the case. Repeaters are being nearly finished. Thought it was going to be this week. It's going to have to be next week. That's okay. Mossy Uprising. And where is that? It's over here. We'll go ahead and send the Army of Africa. Not a problem. Should sort itself out soon. There's repeaters. Colonial affairs is up to 4. Let's go ahead and upgrade the production methods of our arms industries before I forget. Let's take a look at our military shipyards. Okay, we're doing all right. You're forced downsizing, which is weird. And what about our civilian shipyards? Those are mostly doing okay. The ones in Brittany are a little unprofitable. Would you be more profitable if you were producing steel-hulled or wooden-hulled ships? I don't think so. It's curious. See, this is the part that sucks, because I'm going to need more of these, but they're downsizing. Anyway, the Picardy expansion is nearly complete. How are things going over there? How's unemployment, first of all? Unemployment is down, but only by a little bit. Kind of tragic. Wheat farms are still profitable. And starvation hasn't really been decreased by the increase in the wheat supply, which is a bit of a shame. But I suppose it is what it is. Cash flow is doing really well. Our gold reserves continue to increase. We're actually over our reserve limit by a lot. So maybe the answer is I need to build up more construction capacity. Investment pool is still covering the majority of the cost of construction, but let's go ahead and do that. Hey, there's floating harbor. Let's go ahead and boost up the our trade centers before I forget to do that. No, you'll be profitable. You just think you won't. Ah, La Belle Epoque. That's fun. I probably got that for hitting Senator Louis 12. And there's the war with the Mosi completed. I wonder if our logging camps will be... Actually, I wonder if it's time to put... I think it's time to do public trams. It's going to give us extra transportation to play with. And then after that, let's do a quick sweep through and take a look at the price of transportation all over our market. So there are a lot of places we could use a few more railways. Yeah, quite a few, in fact. So let's queue those in. More railways. Scratch that. A few railways. Anyway, that should be pretty alright. Britain's going after Congo. Ah, they're taking Congo as a protectorate. Ah, I wish I'd gotten there first. That's okay, though. These things happen. The only places I can colonize the rest of this area. They're not isolated, they're just pretending. I'm going to start colonization of these difficult to colonize areas right now, because that's going to give me... Starting getting inroads in there is going to be useful to me. I'm almost done colonizing a bunch of other areas, and I can also start colonizing over here. Native uprising. This one in Central Africa. We'll send the Army of Africa to deal with it. I think we're going to rename this army the Army of North Africa. Because it's time for us to have an Army of East Africa as well. Colonization of Volta is complete. That's wonderful. Oh, the front is technically over there. We'll send the Army of East Africa to assist. Sometimes I like to take a visit to Mistakesville. Alright. The explosives factories in Menanjou are almost finished. I'm going to throw this big block of railways that I am building at the top of the queue. We'll still finish out the explosives factories first, and the 2 dye plantations on top that are almost done. And then we'll work on this other stuff. Wow, this is... It's not low construction efficiency, it's just... It's just... Oh, that one was just because it was really far back in the queue. It was the last one in the queue. Alright, I'm not stupid, you're stupid. Alright. So smart and good at video games. Belgium. You would like an alliance. You would like to give me investment rights and trade privileges. Let's negotiate. What if instead of an alliance, it was a defensive pact? Wonderful. I don't need your help in fights, Belgium. Even though you're a major, you have actually quite a large army, which is a bit shocking. But your king is wearing pajamas. Oh, they're not pajamas. They're a military uniform. Your king is in command. Leopold. Well, that is what it is. There's a rebellion in Luxembourg. There's the war in Dar al-Kuti starting out. Let's take a quick look at this. I think this is going to go really fast. And indeed, it appears that it is so. Now, the question I need to ask myself is, at this point, I have plenty of supply of sugar, tobacco, and liquor. Do I want to maybe increase... Do I want to maybe apply these mobilization methods? And I think the answer is I do. Yeah, this is not really increasing mobilization cost all that much. And that's a successful war. Ah, they're moving across Egypt to get home. Well, that'll happen. Railways are getting on towards done. Still... I'm going to throw some more of these dye plantations in at the top of this thing. I don't know why, but I kind of always like having that scaling, like, that fall off, things getting built slowly over time thing. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's just my thing. It's just a thing and I like it. French Chad is isolated. No, it isn't. You're fine. Stop it. So. Infamy is getting lower. I could go about some adventures in Ethiopia. I would like, ultimately, to take a protectorate over Kaffa. Relations are quite good with them. It would only cost me 16 infamy, and I'm tempted to do it. Relations with the Netherlands are really good. Now, I have a decision that I can do. Purchase Luxembourg. Oh, they need to be 50 or higher. Well, we'll deal with that in a moment. Luxembourg is currently in the midst of a civil war. The Voice of the Nation, a group of respectable composers teaching at the Arts Academy in Languedoc, have approached us. They have drawn attention to the alarming lack of a proper national anthem, fit to invigorate our people's spirits. Land of warriors, land of splendor, of this nation the proud defenders, born from the night and blessed by day to drive all our enemies away. Now that's a cool anthem. Extra prestige. Heck yes. Slaver revolt in Java. I thought that was going to be Saxony. But Saxony is... Hold on! Flag plagiarism! Oh, no, it's backwards. It's backwards. It is backwards. What even is verticality? I lost a general, and Escadre du Nord needs a new leader. So we'll grab this Bonapartist. He's charismatic and a dockyard organizer. He should be fine. Army of North Africa lost a bunch of organization. All of our other armies are looking good. Second Corps, let's put another guy. This guy's an Orleanist. He's meticulous and a mountain combat expert, so he seems ideal. Are we up to a legitimate government yet? No, still not. Tragedy. Absolute tragedy. South Wales colonized Cannock. We're still increasing in cash flow significantly. I think I need to increase the size of the construction sector. I think that's the mistake I'm making. I'm not increasing construction enough. So, let's go ahead and... Ooh, we're short on infrastructure in Auvergne-Limousin. That's curious. We'll build up... So I'm going to focus on areas where we've got unemployment. Or we've got significant unemployment. Any in Savoy? A little bit. Build there. Build 4 in Franche-Comté. And I'm throwing these at the top of the queue once again. Does that put us up to 100? Not quite. Need 6 more. We'll put 2 more in Brittany. 2 more in Orléans-Berry. 2 more in Ile-de-France. And that'll get us up to a nice even 100, and that'll hopefully help us make our... hopefully that'll help us survive make our time. Hopefully that'll get our cash flow back in balance. The mass privatization that we're doing is making things really wonky, because we're sort of draining out... The government's trying to build, but it's not draining our reserves. I need to fight a war. That's what I need to do. Suppose I could fight my war to take over Morocco. That would be nice. But I think it's time to get a protectorate over Kaffa. We'll get a protectorate over Kaffa, and then we'll see about... I don't know if I want to put Somalia into Ethiopia, but let's take a quick look. Let's see what's going on over here. Kaffa is... Sidama and Oromo are the primary cultures here. They are Ethiopian, East African, African heritage. The primary cultures in these areas are Somali, who are Arab-speaking East African and African heritage. Over here, Somali. Over here, Somali, Swahili, and Oromo. Over here, Somali, Swahili, and Oromo. Swahili are East African and African heritage. They're also Bantu. Oromo are Ethiopian, East African, and African heritage. So, basically, but Kaffa does have national supremacy. Yada-da-da. Base acceptances. Where are the base acceptances? Oh, they're here. I'm dumb. Acceptance from heritage and cultural traits is 60%. And then... Kaffa, are you doing state religion? You are. State religion is Sunni. These areas are primarily Sunni, 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 Sunni. Alright, so that should be providing 25, which means all those pops will be 60 from sharing a heritage trait and a cultural trait, plus 25 for also having the primary religion. That's going to put them in full acceptance, so I can definitely take all this area and make a big Ethiopia. United States, you want to have investment rights in me in exchange for me having investment rights in you. Let's negotiate. I don't want to give you investment rights right now, USA, but I will give you something better. How about trade privileges? Trade privileges isn't. If I give you an obligation, you might say yes. Not much you want. Goods transfer? Anything you'd be interested in some? You'd be interested in some fine art. You want 75 fine art. No, you want more, less fine art, but you would accept 75. That's a very expensive proposition for me. Ammo. You would like some ammo. You would like a really reasonable amount of ammo. 172. You don't want a defensive pact, which is curious. Any other goods you would like some of? Not really. If I throw in a little bit of fine art to sweeten the deal. You might say yes. 30% chance. What about a little bit of cash? Everyone likes money. 2,500. 92%. Let's try it. Excellent. Obviously that's costing us a pile of cash. Now, we're spending quite a bit in treaties, and a lot of that is in goods transfer. Yeah, that ammo is pretty expensive, but it's also supporting our munitions industry. So, you know, that's good. The French Dream. A story has been making the rounds about a miner who struck it rich and became the wealthiest man in his town. People in Guyana are beginning to live beyond their means, convinced they'll all soon become rich. Did you see his new house? The dining room is all paneled and framed in pine, and finished enamel white, with furniture of teak. An imported chandelier made by some obscure artisan whose name no one can pronounce again. And all of it comes from the mines. All of it. Can't be that harmful. Extra standard of living. Minimum expected... Okay. Extra standard of living for 5 years, but increased minimum expected standard of living for 10 years. So this is a bet that I can keep standard of living up, or all that is gold does not glitter. Half the modifiers, but extra radicals from political movements for 5 years. Let's take a look at the standard of living here. The lower stratum minimum expected is 4. They're currently at 10. Middle stratum is currently at 21. Minimum expected is 11. Upper stratum minimum expected is 13. Currently at 30. Actually, I'm just going to say it can't be that harmful. That'll be fine. Guyana is doing great. Guyana is doing fantastically, actually. Alright, now we are getting to the point of building up our dye plantations. Our huge slew of dye plantations. We're finishing out all these railways that I queued in a while ago. So we're getting there. Yeah, I think I just need to fight a big war. I think that's what I need. How much of an army have I got? I've got 240 battalions. Ooh, there's modern nursing. Actually, what's my supply of opium like? Got 108. So I do have native opium supply. Do I have it anywhere that I can build effectively? Yes, I have it in Mali. Alright, so let's go ahead. First of all, let's build up our supply, and then we'll swap over our medical methods for our armed forces over to full field aid stations, and we'll have the opium supply to support that soon. How are we against Great Britain? Great Britain is continuing to kind of build out ahead. Our GDP is increasing and will be higher than theirs soon, but not soon enough, in my humble opinion. Rural folk and trade unions are chilling out. That's going to help our construction setup. Investment pool is still looking just fine. Government is using about half the construction pool, so we are in the red, but that's okay because we're building stuff out. We're almost at the point where we can get grab Luxembourg from the Netherlands. That's going to cost us a pile of money, but it's not that big of a deal. Here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm actually going to build up some more bureaucracy in Ile-de-France because I want to do a survey of the Suez in Egypt, and I want to be able to get that territory. So, let's hit that entry. Survey of the Suez Isthmus. Oh, it takes 100 bureaucracy. Well, that's fine. Let's build up Normandy. We got plenty of... I got plenty of cash. Normandy... and Ménage... No. Orléans-Berry. We got an employment here. 1, 2, 3. And Brittany will go up to 10. And I forgot to put these ones at the top, so we'll put these ones at the top. There we go. Perfect. Excellence in video games achieved. So, that's costing us a pile of cash, but again, we've got a massive gold reserve. Let's go ahead and hit that button. So that's going to cost us a bunch of bureaucracy, but bureaucracy is slowly increasing, so that should be just fine. In fact, I may have overbuilt, but that's okay. Starvation, where? No ongoing famines. Excellent. Oh, we lost an admiral. Let's see, who do we want? You're a Republican, a naval commander, and cautious. Let's put you in. You seem nice. That should be everything. We're almost there with the Netherlands. I think I'm going to get all the way to the top. We finished improving relations with Great Britain. We just unlocked socialism. Interesting. So they're genial towards us, which is nice. We've got more and more influence every day. I do actually have an amount of influence where I could subjugate Kaffa, but I'm not going to quite yet. Looks like the Civil War in Luxembourg finished out, so I think the end of the episode will be us purchasing Luxembourg from the Netherlands. And that'll be just fine. I'm happy to spend the money because I have tons of it. Just tons. Have we gotten to number 1 in GDP yet? Not quite, but we're neck and neck with the British. We just need another 5 million and we'll be past them, and that will be just great. Alright. The Netherlands. Can't purchase Luxembourg yet because they're not in debt. What a shame. And I was paying them all that cash, too. That was dumb. That was definitely dumb. Well, that's okay. 30 months, and then it'll be fine. With that having been said, that is actually all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.